Projected Reality 3, the Home Haunter's Guide to Video Projection Effects, or PR3 for short, is now a YouTube video. In the past, it has been sold only as a DVD. It was also included as a free DVD with a number of our projection effects titles: Santa Claus, Scrooge, Spider, Snakes and Bats, Ghost of History, to name a few. But I've made the decision to load this up to YouTube and other similar sites so that it's less expensive for us to produce. And it's still available for purchase if you have to have it as a DVD, but the main focus on this particular video is to have it here online. Because PR3 was free with many of the effects DVDs, to save money on all of the blank DVDs, PR3 is up on the web for viewing. We are no longer putting PR3 DVDs in any of the virtual effects DVDs, which may state on the package, comes with Projected Reality 3, because it is up on the web. It's still free, but you'll be viewing it here on the web, not on your DVD player and TV. Instead, the various projection effects DVDs will contain a note with 4 URLs that correspond to the 4 parts of Projected Reality 3. So you will then type these URLs in to your browser and you will be able to access PR3 that way. The projection effects DVDs, which will no longer include PR3, are Spider, Snakes and Bats, Ghost of History, Dracula, Magic and Wizards, Volume 1 and 2, Scrooge, Santa, Jacob Marley, The Invisible Man, and any new titles we create. The exceptions are Frankenstein Scenes, The Stairs Ghost, and Vampire Girl. Why is that? Well, the original plan with PR3 was we were going to actually embed the program, the 90-minute program, onto the effects DVD. And originally the introduction stated that, it said that the effects chapters were going to come after the 7 chapters of PR3. The problem was many of our effects DVDs were so close to an hour and a half of effects, there was no room to put PR3 on them. So we ended up putting a separate DVD with PR3, which was 90 minutes in itself, in the same case. However, Frankenstein Scenes is a 2 DVD set, so we had plenty of room on the second DVD. Stairs Ghost is just a couple of effects, so there was plenty of room there. And Vampire Girl got pretty close to using up the whole DVD, but there was enough room to put PR3 on and still have all the Vampire Girl scenes. So make a note that if you buy Frankenstein, Stairs Ghost, or Vampire Girl, you will have a hard copy of PR3. What is Projected Reality 3? Projected Reality 3, subtitled The Home Haunter's Guide to Video Projection Effects, is instructions and ideas for a number of projection effects individual titles. So for example, with the Ghost of History, we cover projection on rear screen and doors and windows. However, any video effect you want to project on doors and windows or walls inside a window, that particular explanation, that particular chapter applies to that. For example, Santa and Scrooge, as well as Frankenstein. Dracula DVD, we've got a section there which is talking about Dracula on stone wall, Dracula on a floor in a coffin prop, a virtual 3D projection which is angled. So you actually have the instructions for using Dracula in the virtual 3D method in there. And some bits of the instructions are actually on Dracula's YouTube. Spider, Snakes and Bats, there's a little bit of coverage of the snake crawling on the garage floor going under garbage cans. So there is a real big tie-in of it being like the instructions for individual DVDs. However, it is one 90-minute chunk with a lot of different chapters with a lot of different effects. And what it does is it lets you get some exposure to a lot of the different projection effects DVDs that we make in one 90-minute sequence. So in other words, you can think of it as it's a general how-to pretty much related to effects done around the home at Halloween. Also can be done with stores, theme parks, and other haunted attractions, but it's shot here in my home. And then we're using a lot of my separate DVDs as the material we are projecting. That is pretty much how it's designed. It is also part 3 of a series. There's Projected Reality 1 and Projected Reality 2. These two DVDs are by themselves very, very good tools for the refinements of video projection effects. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you can't encompass the entire world of video projection effects by saying you set up the projector and you play the DVD, because there's a lot more to it than that. There's lots of things that you can do. What do you do about the hard edges of a projected image? How do you mold that image into a scene? Well, those are the kinds of details which are covered in Projected Reality 1 more than any, because that is the key primary how-to video. And so there's a lot more information that deals with some of these particular effects than is covered in Projected Reality 3. However, Projected Reality 3 does have some of our new developments. We came up with a number of video projector mounts, all homemade in a small home shop, that you can use to hold the projector in different angles. So there are some developments. We also spend a little bit more time demonstrating the differences in rear screens. So that is kind of what it is. It's part of a series, but it is a combination of instructions. Likewise, Projected Reality 1 and 2, in fact, do relate to the two DVDs that come with them, Projection Effects 1 and Projection Effects 2. There is no direct relationship between Projected Reality 3 and Projection Effects 3. You would think there would be. Well, why isn't there? Well, good reason. Projection Effects 3 is a combination of a lot of footage, which, as embarrassed as I am to say, includes something from 2003 that we misplaced when we moved. And that is an earthquake where a building comes down in an earthquake, and we showed that in one of our earlier how-to videos, Spooky Props and Special Effects. Well, then we lost the tape in moving. So it was found recently. So that's one thing that's on Projection Effects 3. And it's a combination of different effects, and in some cases it's something that we tried a different version of the blood running down the face of a mannequin head for on a counter. That's also on that video, but it is not, it's not like the other two. Projected Reality 1, the effects that came with that were pretty much the effects that were explained. So there is no relationship, so just make note of that, that Projection Effects 3 is its own standalone thing. You can certainly apply many of the techniques, but it's not a hand-in-hand, here's the instructions, here's the effect, which would have been the case with the first two.